and not drive, or else the Earth's going to explode. And it's like, bro, Trevor cannot out recycle China pumping, how much gas into the Earth, dude.
It's just crazy. It's in Holland. I must admit, I have to say, because I've been working for like 12 years in a company where it was all about recycling and sustainability and the sustainable development goals and everything. I was all into it because I was like, okay, we have to save the world, and we have to do this, and we have to change this. And it's it will make you crazy because until today, um, I don't see the results and all the efforts that they made companies do, and um, changes, and it's I cannot even say how many changes and how many projects and how many how do you say that, the money that comes from the government in
Oh
English,
yeah. I mean, we're here and over
funds.
here. Yeah, it's like the hottest 3 days ever recorded or something.
What was it?
Mm-hmm.
Like the hottest 3 days ever recorded here in the US.
The hardest 3 days.
Yeah, but get this though.
Recent these days.
Yeah, like the last 3 days were the hottest ever, right? But I looked up the data. You know when they started collecting data?
No.
Oh no.
1978. So they say the hottest day on or the hottest 3 days, but it's the hottest three
On
days
their
since
records.
1978. And it's like, that does, bro, you can't tell me a caveman was out here like, oh, it's 80 degrees outside. Like the hottest day ever. Give me a break, bro.
But that's
Yeah.
it's the way they write things, the way they put things out. It makes you think. If you don't research it, of course, if you do your research, then you will find always something else, and you can trace every information that you get. So, but
Yep.
it's the
They
way
have to
they put
sell it.
things.
Yeah, they have to sell it. That's how they make their money.
They're so shady too, bro.
We
Like
are the products.
you know, in the article I read about it being so hot out recently, the line that said that the data only started collecting in 78 was like the bottom of the page, right? So most people are only seeing the headline. If they read the article, they got to go all the way to the bottom to find it. It's like you're not, I guess, technically lying, but it's so shady, man.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, they're making people afraid, and well, it worked because I too was thinking that I could change something about the whole world's um, 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 how do you say it in English?
Like you could fix the climate.
Yes, the climate change, and that you are responsible, but you're not.
Well, you
You
know,
Yeah,
are
there's nothing I can
responsible
do.
for everything.
well, you know what they all have in common too? All the climate change, fucking, we're gonna solve this problem. Less people, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
they just want less people.
you don't get less people without killing people, bruv. I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
this is
And
just an.
that's what they're already doing, right? So
I'm
they are
saying, yeah,
already
but there's
killing people
already,
in many ways.
hmm.
like you're gonna use this as an excuse to kill people, and we don't have enough people here. Like,
Come on,
come on, man.
come
It's a
But
on.
funny thing,
sometimes,
bro.
and it sounds very harsh, but I think that's a way of cleaning up the earth, because we humans, I think we need to be even. Um, it's a Life is a test, right? So
Yeah.
you need to get better, stronger, smarter, and you have to outrun them, actually, right?
Hmm.
I
Like
mean, maybe.
Corona, for example. I thought of it, and my partner, he told me, you're crazy, and how can you think of it like this? And I was like, okay, but I believe in God above anything, so I don't. I do, of course, I do care what happens, but I was like, this is such a crazy event. I don't know what to believe, but I need to do first research. I need to have like facts that I can work with, and I couldn't believe the news. So I was pregnant of my daughter, and I was like, okay, before I get before I panic because I'm pregnant. I have to
Yeah.
remain calm and avoid stress and everything. So I was like, just sort things out, just do your research. And I went to hospitals and I went to check to see what is going on because I needed to deliver my baby in the hospital. So I had to see what was going on. So I would check myself in already with some pains and everything. And I was like, just let me just check in the inside.
Okay.
If I see people dying, you would see chaos, right? If there is
You would think
so
there'd be
many
bodies
deaths
in the
around
street.
you, and I saw nothing. And the people in the hospital, they weren't even wearing masks, and I was like, okay, I was wearing a mask because I was like, I'm pregnant, I don't want to get sick of you,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna just do it. And eventually, I found out the masks were it was a fake detection and everything, and I was like, okay, what are we doing in here? And eventually, when I researched some things, I said, okay, there must be something going on, and they are obviously doing something in the background with things that we cannot see. And I was like, I'm going to see this as the survival of the fittest. Just if you can keep up mentally, physically, then you are with the less survivors, right? Because obviously they are doing something. Because I would hear people dying close, and that was not a lie. So they were doing something, and I wasn't sure what it was until now. I don't know what it is, and I decided not to know. I don't want to
I mean,
know,
I
but
can. Yeah. If you don't
I
want to
know
know, I won't
something
tell
is
you. But
not.
It's that was a big thing with the whole vaccines and everything. Is just look in front of your eyes. What do you see? They're telling us something is happening. They're telling us everyone's sick. They're telling us all this and all that. Hospitals are filled to the brim. But I didn't see more ambulances on the road. I didn't see more people collapse. I didn't see anything happening. I didn't see friends getting crazy sick. It was, just another
Like in
cold or like,
China, people dropping down on
yeah.
the streets. And I was
yeah,
like, okay.
uh,
I did see one time in the store, and I was like, okay, this shit in China's coming in right here.
and
Guy,
to like
he was in
hospitals.
line and he just dropped down on the floor. I was like, okay, oh my god, Amrah, this is you know when you
That's
when
like
you
a
get
demon.
too powerful, like okay, God is going to save me, and I was like, I'm untouchable. I don't care. And then I saw the man just dropping down.
It's
I was
like
like, okay,
that.
this
That
is
was the
getting
big thing.
serious.
The big thing in the US was like if you don't get a vaccine, hospitals are going to be overran. They're not going to be able to treat people. But they tell us statistics like, oh, this hospital in New York's at 99% capacity, right? One more person and it's going to be over capacity. They can't get care. The hospitals operate at like a 90% capacity all the time. Like healthcare is expensive.
Constantly.
They don't have a whole auditorium full of beds just to be able to use, bro. They're already at these high like occupancy rates.
Yes.
And no, I was actually deployed to Afghanistan when the COVID thing happened. Like I went out there in early January 2020, and I got back in June. But it's like I was reading on the news how like all hell's breaking loose. Like my wife's disinfecting the groceries, right? And then get this though. I get back and I'm like, I see a few people wearing masks, but I'm still told this is going to kill everyone and their mother, right? But then I see people rioting in downtown Nashville, all over the US. And I think, wait a minute. I got to stand 6 feet apart from Trevor or else we're going to kill each other. But y'all can riot with fucking over 1,000 people?
Yeah.
Come on,
Something's up.
dude.
That's funny you say that too, because I was on my way out to Iraq in that same time period, and then it was that my time was around the George Floyd riots, so it was like a month after the COVID stuff was kicking off, and I had to be quarantined for 2 weeks in this depressed little area. No one could talk to me right before I deployed. 2 weeks stuck in this room because of COVID. And now I get overseas and it's just mayhem in the United States. Everyone's everywhere. There's people everywhere in the streets together. And now even now it's still a problem. Somehow it's still happening. I still have to get a 7th booster shot. Like it's there.
Oh, that shit.
I was talking about that too, because a lot of people are thinking like it's an attack on us and they're going after us and they're attacking you. But I want to believe that they're just trying to make it easier to control everything. And it's not, they're not necessarily attacking. They're attacking the weak people because they're easier to control that way. The strong people, I want to believe they want on their team. They want them to survive. The strong people, almost like who are you going to pass? If there are 8 people sitting around at a table making all these big plans for the whole world, I would believe that those 8 people want some critically thinking people to come after them. So they're not going to try and kill all the strong people. That's why this COVID took out the obese people, and it was a problem for the people with health issues already. They wanted the stronger people to get through it. And the people who got the vaccinated, they're weaning out all the weak people in the world.
Yeah, big time.
Look at China's demographics, bro. They got way too many old people, not enough young people, especially young women. And you mean to tell me a disease just manifests because some dude ate a monkey shit sandwich that really only kills old and fat people in the country where there's too many old people? Come on, fam.
Well, they lost me when I saw the government people, the ministers, and no, it was even the minister who was in charge of the health issues. He had a party in his house, a big party during Corona, in Dutch, in Holland, yeah. And his name is I forgot his name, because he was shaking all hands, he was hugging his friends, and they had a wedding. They had a wedding with a party, something like that. And apparently then they showed the people of the country that those people in higher state places, they don't have Corona rules. They don't have to keep their distance. They can hug each other, kiss each other, and
that's the same thing happened over here. Yeah,
count more than once, Trev, too, bro. Like, at least 10 times. It was governors saying, if you go out to the grocery store, you're going to kill grandma. And then they got caught getting their hair cut or having a giant party with no masks. Or you see those pictures where like the politicians don't have masks, but all like the servant class people do. Like
the virus doesn't get the ministers and the people in higher.
We had
chooses the weaklings.
We had this thing out here where the grocery stores, right, had these arrows. Like you're supposed to go one way through the grocery store. Like you walk past something, you can't go back. Right?
Yeah, this is a one-way aisle. The next one's the other way. It's like this is getting out of control. You had the little dots.
Bro. Yeah, the little dots. Even outside. Even outside.
I'm like, bro, no one. My favorite was the people wearing masks when they'd be like running by themselves. Like people are not running past each other catching coronavirus, bro.
It's
just the hospital.
Let's get into I want to get into this the couple links that you sent me, because
have you seen it?
Those were insane.
I know, but this is what I found out later. I didn't even know this, that the IE link that I sent you, that was even deeper. I didn't even know these things. And I was like, okay, this is happening all around the world, and other countries need to know this also.
I was going to say, what links did you get, bro?
I put them in the chat, but it's they used an algorithm to tell who was Dutch and who's non-Dutch to spark a risk, increase their risk that they were committing fraud and crime. It's like if we used an algorithm and said anybody who is black, let's just say African American, anyone who's black is committing more crimes, and everybody who turned in that paper saying that they're black is now getting watched by the federal government. So they're doing that to us, the FBI. They didn't tell us about it, but they're currently doing it with Catholics. It's a huge thing. FBI people are infiltrating Catholic schools and school board meetings just because if you're Catholic, you're at a higher risk of committing crime or going against what the government's trying to tell you.
Yeah, I would.
So
Why
it's
is it with Catholics?
I don't know. I'm guessing because they have a more traditional view on life. They don't just like you
Yeah.
were saying, you believe in a God, and
Yes, yes.
they are they're more strict than Christians for sure. And I think that's why they targeted them, because it would break them down a little bit more if they could get to the higher guy or get to the
Yo.
preacher, whoever they could get to.
Mm.
But I mean, the same thing was happening over to you guys. So when how you said that all started in the article, it said like 2013,
Yeah,
but
really.
you were there. Yeah, you were there for a while, right? So what was happening in your
Yeah.
eyes while being there? What was kind of happening before you found out that they were doing that?
Well, I was talking about this recently with a friend of mine. She comes from Morocco, and she,
Hell
of
yeah.
course, with the technology that they used, everybody who's not Dutch originally is targeted, and not even only Dutch. It goes even further. They had targeted people who had like autism, like I said a couple of weeks ago. They like the virus. They targeted the weaker people, the single parents. If you're a father or a mother, single father, single mothers, the people. So she was also because she's from Morocco. There are a lot of people from Morocco, not only Morocco, Somalia. It's every if you come everywhere outside Holland, you are targeted. So you're on the list. They have even a name of that list. Oh, yeah, it's in Dutch. I will translate it and send it to you. But there's a special list that you come that you appear on, and with that list, you're just a criminal. You're already actually without having a court case or anything against you. You're just filed as a criminal. And my friend recently, I was talking with her about this and how it's crazy. But she said, I always knew this was happening. She said every time I go somewhere in school when I was younger, they would approach me differently. And you can say it's because you look differently, but there was something in their system who would not make you go higher in like school. They wouldn't allow you because it's in the system. It's coded that you cannot go higher if you come from certain places. So it
Oh,
goes very deep, and it must be because otherwise you can't tell me that every foreign younger human in Holland how do you say it, automatically goes to lower educational.
oh, like if
How
I'm
do you
an
say it?
immigrant or something, I wouldn't be able to go to like a really nice college.
But it has something to do with your scores, the testing that you do already in school. The, their programs, they will not allow you to go further. And I recently, on Friday, yesterday, I talked to a man who's working with all the people who are the victims of this programs, and he used to work with police. He's a very interesting guy to talk about this subject. As he accepted a job inside the federal tax, how do you say it, services in Holland,
Yeah.
is to see how they are doing the work now. And he has a lot of he was working at insurance companies. He was an entrepreneur. He worked at police. He did many things, and he's now seeing the inside job. He said, "Listen, I am watching a old program right now." He said, And I don't understand why they are working with these programs if they have such high level, uh, how do you say it in English? IE, AI,
A
AI,
high
yeah.
level.
AI,
Oh, AI. Yeah, yeah,
artificial intelligence.
yeah.
As you wouldn't believe the programs that we work with, because they can do such amazing things, but they don't want to help the people eventually, because the programs that he needs to work with, they don't allow him to help the people as they should be helped. It's like when it comes to the money that they are giving out to the people, the herds that they did, and the, how do you say it, the compensation, is it
Yeah.
compensation
Compensation. Yeah.
for everything that they suffered. He said it should be easy to just see how many people you hit with your programs, and then pay out this amount of the kind of trauma or what they done to the people. He said, but they don't want to do this. He said, and it's just a corrupt place. That's actually,
Well,
I have no words. I have to ask that man to put it in words, but he was very he explained me very well how it works, and now I have his explanation. I know that this has always been like this, and they have this technology. They have it already. I don't know how long they have it, but they have it all a long time, and they are using it big time. They're using it big
Oh,
time.
yeah. No, we just had a Supreme Court ruling here in the U.S. about affirmative action. If you're familiar with that.
No, can you put it in the?
Um,
how do we explain it?
Pretty much, if you're white or Asian, you have to get a higher score to get into like medical school or colleges than if you were Latino or black.
Oh,
So, like
Yeah.
medical schools, I'll kind of explain because I was going to try to go on for a little bit. It's
oh,
called URM, underrepresented in medicine, right? So, um, a,
uh,
a
uh,
Mex like a Mexican person has a 3.2 GPA in college, right?
I have to interrupt. I have the baby phone in my screen, and I have to go
Oh
because I
no,
see my
yeah,
daughter moving.
you're good,
No,
you're
you're
good.
good.
She's
Go
trying to
take
get
care
out
of
of the
that.
bed.
We'll edit this part out. I'm gonna write down the point though. Yeah.
Yes, I have to pause for a moment. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good.
I'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah, man. Getting out of control.
Yay,
It
bro.
seemed, yeah, dude. So the articles that she sent were
Yeah,
put them in the
yeah.
chat for anyone that's listening and wants to look into that. But from my understanding, it's almost exactly like what the FBI was doing for the Catholics. It's an immediate flag on your profile, but they did it through their taxes. So I don't know. I'm not too sure on how the FBI did it, but when they file taxes over in the Netherlands, they were immediately flagged. And the first thing they did was it was non-Dutch versus Dutch. And if you're flagged non-Dutch, you were considered a higher risk at criminal activity. But through the article she sent me, they didn't have any oversight of the program. And the people who get the file in front of them, like her friend that's in the tax office, the people who get the file in front of them, they are told it was something about the more money you get for the government, the more money they get. So it's kind of like our justice system, to where like the more people that the police lock up, the more praise they get. So
Oh, okay.
they see this art, or they see this profile that says they're non-Dutch, and so it wasn't just like the program was going after everybody. It was the people that weren't overlooking the program, the people that were just getting the files. They had no oversight of the program. So that was the biggest problem. They weren't sifting through who was doing what and what. Like, they just said you're committing fraud or crimes. So they asked for their, I don't know if they were paying their money back. They didn't ask for it. They said, no, you got to pay your child care or something back. So they ended up, I mean, think about that in the United States. All the people that are lower income get flagged for committing crime and fraud, and now they have to pay back their government help. So the people on EBT, the people receiving government benefits, they have to now pay that back.
I mean, yeah,
you didn't have it in the first place, so now you have to pay it back. That's tearing. I mean, that would tear families apart from the get-go.
Like getting audited, bro. Like we talk about fucking, oh, we got to tax the billionaires and all this shit, right? It's like there are like 300 billionaires in the US. They each have their own dedicated tax team. And, you know, we see people like Joe Biden hiring 80,000 new IRS agents. It's like they're not going after Elon Musk or super rich people. They're coming after us.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to do really anything. You just got to take someone to court, bro. Like how much is a fucking lawyer? A few $1,000s?
Mine was $1,000 just to get divorced. That was an easy lawyer. That was $1,000 no matter what. And it wasn't. And this is a big thing within the lawyer community. So I know a couple people from our meetings on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Kev.
Yeah.
That are trying to change this because it's just it's a template, man. It's a template. They put in my name, they put in her name, and then I get my money back, and it's $900. Or I don't get my money back, but they put in my name, they put in her name, and I give them money for it. Like you guys already have this written down,
bro. Yeah, it's just a fucking form, bro. Like
so it's I don't know. It's a little brutal what's going on over there, but I'm glad to hear that the government collapsed. To be honest with you, I'm curious to know more about that from the inside because I did see that a little bit, and I was actually just thinking that today. I don't know how this man got reelected after the polls or after this program came out and they exposed it. He still got reelected.
I mean,
and I'm not going to point no fingers or nothing.
Oh, here we go. Pointing a finger. Yep.
But the man's part of the Freedom and Democracy Party.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
So Democrat 66, whatever party's over there, D66.
Look at Chicago, bro. How many people get shot in Chicago on the average weekend? Like fucking 50 people.
Chill on my city.
I'm sorry, Trev. Look at my home city, Denver, Colorado. How many homeless people you got running around there? Do you? But people still vote Democrat. Like,
yeah, I don't know what they're locked into. I don't know why they think it's gonna keep working. You know,
San Francisco, bro. They got a public department for human waste because people are taking craps in the street, and they still vote Democrat. Do you know, dude, that
just wake up?
If only 80% of the black community voted Democrat and the rest voted Republicans, it would be a landslide election.
No, I do know that 90% of the African American community does vote blue.
But if only even 10% of them switch parties, it's like, bro, these people, not that the Republicans are perfect, but the Democrats don't care about you, bro. They see y'all as a pawn, just like anyone else. Like, let's just use y'all for what you're worth, and then when we don't need you no more, fucking there's the door, bro.
Yeah, it blew my mind that the man got reelected. Matt Root, Rutte. Mark, I'm sorry, Mark.
Mark Root.
That was the prime minister over there. It's just, I mean, come on.
I mean, how many times has Mitch McConnell got reelected, dude? Fucking too many to count.
And that's our thing. Our senators just kind of fly under the radar. Our congressmen and women. These are the people. I mean, they're affecting us too, man. It's not just like the president. These are the people that are supposed to be fighting for our rights, representing us, not their big grand scheme of things.
Bro.
We're not asking for your big plan. We're asking for you to go over there and speak on my behalf. In the old days, when our government just started, it started because we had farmers, and they're like, look, man, we can't all go to this meeting. We have to farm. We'll send Trevor on all of our behalf. Trevor, can you tell them, please, that we don't want this? And that's how we did it. That's where it all started. And now I don't even know really anyone in Congress. I don't know. I don't know nobody because they're all flying under the radar. I don't know how I don't even know how they keep getting elected. I have no idea. Probably because it's the only name everyone sees. I mean, when I was voting in the 2020 election, I just picked the names that I saw on the. I'm going to be honest. I had no idea. I saw R and I saw whatever name seemed familiar to me, and I voted that guy.
I just picked the R, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's on us to fix it. So I'm not blaming anybody, but that's just the state we're in, and it's definitely on us to become smarter to fix it.
This is the problem, though, with democracy is that everyone has an equal vote. Like, did you watch Tim Cass IRL last night?
No.
He was saying, like, imagine the average person how dumb they are, right? 50% of people are stupider than that. Like, people are not, how do I put, like, say you're Trump, right? Are you going to go up on stage and talk about issues and maybe win over the 10% of intellectuals that are going to vote?
Yeah.
Or are you going to call your opponent a fat sack of shit and get everyone else, bro?
He's stupid. He's an idiot.
Stupid. You're lazy.
You'd be in jail.
What the fuck did he call Jeb Bush, bro? Low energy, bro.
Yeah, low energy. Look at this guy's low energy. Look at him.
Yeah, bro. Imagine when he gets.
And Jeb's just like, what?
Yeah, bro. Oh, I'm up here with Ted Luz. You know, like that's what wins elections, bro, is people's emotions. Like, I was talking to my wife, Flora, about this yesterday. She was like, I'm a single issue voter. And I'm like, what is that single issue? And she couldn't tell me. Didn't know what it was. And I'm like, no, you vote by how you feel about that person. If you think they're an asshole, you're not going to vote for them. But I'd rather have a competent asshole than a nice retard. I mean, look what we have now, bro. We have a nice fool. And look at how that's working out for us, bro.
But that's the thing too, is like even the intellectuals that see what I mean. We, like you said, you know what's going on. I know what's going on, but we won't be able to vote for the intellectual person because the other guy's just going to win with emotion. You know, like this is people are saying, would you vote Trump? And like, look, I don't really want to. I don't want to vote Trump. I wish there was another option. But there's no one out there that's going to appeal to the emotions like Trump does.
That has winnability, yeah.
Yeah, right. And I would vote someone else. I really would. But you look at the polls, the man's up 50 points. Like, I'm not going to be able to. My vote isn't going to change anything. You know?
I mean, that's why the third parties never work out.
I would rather put my vote towards him than anyone on the other side. That's how it ends up with the lesser of two evils each election.
Dude, I would suck dick to be able to vote for someone and have like an honest chance. Well, fucking A, dude, it's so tiring. The first election I could vote in was Trump versus Hillary Clinton. Like, what? And before that, you had Obama and Mitt Romney. They're both fucking uniparty people.
Oh man, I just found out Mitt Romney was the first that ruled LGBTQ should be in schools.
Oh, for real?
Or either in schools or I think it was gay marriage. He was the first one that passed gay marriage.
But but they're both
but claims to be like this almighty Christian man.
Yeah, and
come on, man.
They're both fucking warmongers, dude. It's like, okay, the first election I can vote in is Trump and Hillary Clinton. It's like a giant deuce versus a turd sandwich. I don't think I even voted then because I was deployed, right? Use that kind of an excuse. And then in 2020, it was Joe Biden versus Trump. And I'm like, oh my good God in heaven. Like, this is the best we can muster up. We're the fucking US of A, dude.
Yeah. Think about all the intelligent people out there. They're so intelligent, they don't want to be involved in this garbage. Like, that's...
Yo,
that's
dude.
Going on.
It's like,
you know what? I see the mess that's going on over there. I don't want my face on the screen because I will end up getting attacked and harassed. I'm just not going to do this. And so we end up with a dude who's willing to do it, but not as intelligent.
But you see how dirty they play in our politics too, bro. I can't blame no one for not wanting to join that.
Yeah.
Whole apparatus, though. Like they're so dirty.
Curious how long this will last though, because even with like AI coming out, they're gonna have to change something.
Oh, it'll last.
Something is gonna have to change. So who knows?
What's gonna be worrying is when you see an AI video of Joe Biden. He's like, "My fellow Americans, we're signing up to go fight in Ukraine and send American soldiers over there." But it's like it's like fake, right?
Yeah.
But how many people are gonna watch that? Specifically, people over 55 and think, "Oh shit, dude, we're going to war in Ukraine."
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
I'm saying there has to be. We have a flawed system when it comes to the press.
Fact.
And that's what's going to happen now is something's going to start floating around of AI deepfakes. And because the government is so, I mean, look at how they exchange the Secretary of State. That lady doesn't know a damn thing. If she can't answer questions so that the press can get the truth out, because the old people are watching the news, the old people are watching or are reading newspapers. They can't get the right information because she can't relay the information.
And bro, she just lied. I'm taking like the press secretary, Kareem, like that black chick, bro.
Yeah,
she just lies constantly.
Yeah, over and over. It's not just an American issue, as we're finding out.
Yeah, hunt the good stuff. At least we're all.
Well, I heard everything that you said because I had the sound on, and I was listening while I was with my child.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's crazy, crazy.
Any critiques?
I heard about Joe Biden.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
I'm still convinced no one voted for Joe Biden. They just voted against Trump.
Mm-hmm. Which is sad. That's what I'm saying. Lesser of two evils.
I say, but they'll say though, like, I didn't want to vote for him, but I had to get rid of Trump. Like, no, dude, own that shit. You voted for him.
Yeah.
How is it in America? Because the 4th of July, I wanted to send you a message. I didn't. I'm sorry, but
No.
I wanted to research the whole day and where it came from and all that, and I did. And
oh hell yeah!
While I was watching an information that I found on YouTube about it, it was the first time that America, the people, won actually, and they resist against all those things that the government was doing, right? So if they have done that in the past like that and they achieved it, how can people still be moved by governments like this if they have already done that in the past?
Real quick for some context, the Boston Tea Party was kind of like the genesis of the Revolutionary War and us declaring our independence, right? Mm-hmm. They did that over a 2% tax increase. 2%. And then you got places like California, they take half your income. I don't know. I wanted to add that.
I thank you for looking it up.
How is it possible?
I mean,
how is what possible?
That they have like in one America is one whole country, right? So do they have like different tax?
Each state.
Oh,
yeah, state. I mean, it'll take me the whole podcast to go through how many taxes we have.
Holy shit, longer than that.
Yeah, each state has a state income tax. Like here in Florida, we don't have one. But when I'm buying food, I'm taxed. When I'm buying water, I'm taxed. When I'm working and getting my money, I'm taxed. When I spend my money, I'm taxed. Yeah. So it's I think if a lot of people did what you did and looked up the history behind America, and I was saying this too, because someone asked me, you're a veteran. Does 4th of July mean something more to you now? And I said it does in a way, but I went to the beach. I didn't drink. I didn't do anything crazy. I just went to the beach and enjoyed my time. And I couldn't find anyone there not drinking I couldn't find anyone sober. Everyone was impaired. No one. So everyone just uses the holiday to get crazy and they get the day off of work because the federal government says, look, this is the day we're off of work, and they just go insane. Like I didn't fight for this country and for this holiday, if you want to say, for you guys to just forget
Pick it
everything
up.
you did that day. Yeah, I mean, you guys have no idea what you did the whole day.
I
I went
got
to
it.
the beach and got
That's
wasted.
what I thought. I was like, okay, if this is such a important day, why this has to make you think bigger, right? It
I'll
made me think bigger.
yeah.
While
I'll
I was
disagree with Trevor a
consuming
little
the information, everything, and I was like, whoa, this is so it does happen, and there are possibilities, there are ways, and I was all opened up like we have options. we
No,
There's
I
a
know.
way out.
Like
the
the
whole world
fourth
has
of
options.
like the Fourth
Yeah.
of July
We're
makes me
free.
yeah, it makes me so optimistic though, just because like you hear on the news about how bad this country is and how everyone hates it and stuff, right? But I went on my back porch during 4th of July and it was like Normandy Beach. Everyone in Tennessee was lighting fireworks.
Mhm.
It's like that's a celebration, bro.
Yeah,
People are happy. Like
you
you see
feel
in
it.
in 2020 when California outlawed all fireworks. And then you see that video with the helicopter flying over Los Angeles. Everyone's got them. Like that is such like an American spirit thing, dude. Like I get
It
it.
has to be because they have
Yeah.
achieved like wow. It's powerful. Such a
Yeah,
day.
yeah. It's like we can, kind of appreciate its powerfulness, same like we do with like Memorial Day or Veterans Day or something. But
Mhm.
like, let's have some damn fun, bro. I don't want everyone to be sad. Let's light off some fireworks, dude. Screw the government. Let's do what the fuck we want. We're Americans, bro. That's what we do.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
but that's why I said I didn't even saw it as just only for America. I see it for the whole world. Everybody is free, and we are free. We are free spirits. If you think we come from God,
Mhm.
like you believe it, right?
Yeah.
That you are created by God, and He created us as free spirits, and we have free will. We are amazing. We are strong. We are tough. We are bendable, flexible. We can do a lot, and we've shown that too because people have achieved much in history just for standing up for their rights and for themselves and just being the human that they are.
I
Mhm.
mean, the
Free.
fact the fact that we're all still even alive, like what did the earth, kind of get born, so to speak, like over 4 billion years ago? And then all that time later, we have this. Like,
Yeah.
what? I I saw it.
We could be so much more if you think of it.
Yeah, but
We
like
could
I
be
I saw
flying maybe like it's just with
I saw a TikTok about it. It was like if you had a billion letters, right, and you tossed them out on the ground, what are the odds that it would write Hamlet or some famous play?
Mhm.
Slim to none. And it's like I wouldn't bet my life on that. Why would I bet my afterlife on that? It's like this is all just too big of a coincidence. I think people don't really appreciate enough how much we're like the fact that we're all still here is a blessing.
yes, it
The
is.
the coincidences have been kind of blowing my mind recently. That's what finally turned me over to God. Is even yesterday I went out with my parents and I did a little cartwheel with a backflip on the end. And we were at this bar listening to live music, and there was probably 20 people total there. The bar was pretty empty. And I did one. This group of ladies kind of went a little crazy and told their friend to turn around and ask me to do it again. So I did it again. It turns out she's a gymnastics teacher. It's like, what are the odds out of the 20 people that are in here that out of nowhere I decided to just try something new and she can teach me how to do it? It's
Wow.
it, it's just
Do
it's
you believe it's coincidence then?
no, no, there's
No,
no way.
neither of us do.
No.
Like there's just no way. It,
I
I don't know.
believe that God puts people in places that you should be going because He already Your everything is already written, right? So we
It's
only have to go to where we should go, and then if we just um, w- are willing to see the signs. So if we just pay attention to things that we should see, then you can see a lot. You will. I make my puzzles like that every day. I just pay
Mhm.
attention when I go out on the people that I meet, the conversations, everything. It's not a coincidence because everything leads to my next step.
Yeah.
were you ever not religious, or have you always been a Muslim?
I'm a born Muslim, but I have been pushed away from my faith by experiences, and now, like 3 years, I am back to my religion.
Three
I'm a
years.
new Muslim again.
What?
Born again.
Yeah. What changed
Born
that? What
again.
caused that?
Well, the Dutch, the scandal that I
Hmm.
shared with Kevin, the Trevor, that made me feel so low in my life. I was knocked down even below ground level. So I
Yeah.
couldn't go anywhere than to God for his mercy and his forgiveness for everything that I did do wrong, because I knew I hurt people in the past and all that. So I started to ask for forgiveness, and each time I asked forgiveness for things that I've done, I relieved myself more, and I felt the energy that God was giving me, and so I couldn't deny it. It was there. It was in me and around me. Everything that I thought I did, everything was just planned out, and I started to put my whole faith back to God, because that's where I recognized I come from God. So that's where I will return, and it doesn't matter what happens in this life. And that time when I was just back on the track with my God, our God, Lord, um, Corona happened. So what do you do when you have a an unseen virus? You don't know what it is. And I
Yeah.
believe in everything that could be possible. And now things are even recognized by have you seen the military, the officer, how this U.S. military that came out now about UFOs, that the government has secret programs, and have you seen that?
Yeah.
They got
What?
secret programs.
Yeah. There
Yeah,
And
was.
I
Yeah.
know they do. I know they do.
of course we
Yeah.
have already known, but they never said it, and they always denied it. Like, and they made people think they were crazy.
Hmm.
Like Trevor and I know about some like units where we can't even talk about them. I can only imagine the stuff they got behind closed doors that we don't
This
even
guy,
know
he
about.
told it on news. He told them
Oh,
he was
Yeah.
what?
working on
Yeah.
those projects.
Yeah.
It's massive news.
Yeah. Kevin, we'll
That's
have to look
Great.
into that a little after
I'll
because
send you
I
the
did see
links.
that.
I was
Yeah.
just showing my son. He was here. He was here with me, and when he comes to me, he researches a lot of things.
it.
And I put him on my laptop, and I said, just sit down and just watch this, listen to this, and listen carefully. And he's a very smart, intelligent young man. He will become a young a man, but he's very smart already, and he does see the things, and also shocked. And I have it still open on my laptop. It's crazy. It's
Is
crazy.
there like a forgiveness component of Islam, the way kind of Christianity has one?
I don't know how it is with Christianity, but in Islam, Allah, God, He forgives. He's the all forgiving. He is the only one who can forgive you stuff that even people can't forgive. So I had one experience with an old friend of mine. Her sister, I heard her when I was hit with the scandal of in Holland. I actually um, I ran away to alcohol, and I was partying, and I wanted to just forget about everything that was happening. like the people on
And
4th of
there,
July did. They forgot
and
about
there,
events in the
both
past.
of us have been right there. Yeah.
Just
Yep.
put it in the bag, and I'm just gonna go have fun, and that's what I did. When they hit me and target me, I was like, I'm not crazy, but I can't understand this. I can't puzzle this, so I want out, and I did actually with alcohol, and I had made several mistakes with alcohol, and I heard her because I told something that her sister. Her sister was my friend, and I told her sister something about her that she was not allowed to know, and she was hurt very bad, and I understand it, and I asked forgiveness of her, and she couldn't forgive me. She said, and I was like, okay, I felt really bad and all that, and then I remembered God made me remember that He's the one forgiving people, and we can only do our best in this life, even with people, even if you hurt somebody. God is always forgiving. If He sees and He feels your intentions and everything that you have inside of you, and people can never see that. So you can always turn to Him for your forgiveness. That's what I've seen, because I forgave myself instantly after that moment with God. I was like, okay, I understand it and I accept it and I respect it where you come from, and I have to forgive myself because I need to go on the next forgiveness asking person. Or I don't know what I've done a lot, so I knew I had to go on and just block it off. And and
I mean,
I've seen
like
God forgive me.
the forgiveness part of like Christianity, I'm going to speak on just because I know more about it, right? It's such
Mhm.
a huge thing too. Like it helps you reconcile a lot of things because the Bible says that laying down with another man, being gay, is a sin, right?
Mhm.
But I can't see me getting up to Judgment Day and God saying, you know, Kev, you led a really just life. You were kind of people and you helped a lot of people out, but you had a few gay friends, so you know, off to hell with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, man? Like we can forgive. It's
No,
just
but
like
even on that part, God, we need to respect everybody, every human being, no matter what they are or think or do. We should not even judge, right? Like this agenda they are doing, they are forcing things on us. That's a different story, but we don't have to agree with it, but we have to respect it in total. We have to respect the creation of God,
Yeah,
right?
that's
yep.
what got me through Corona. That's it's
Just leave
looking
everyone
back
in
on.
their own.
Talk to him. What
Yeah,
do you mean got you through Corona, man?
yeah, no, because even looking back on it now, looking at it, even the current state of it, I everything has a plan. Everything happens for a reason, and there was a reason God put this obstacle in this world,
Yeah,
whether it was good or bad for whoever. There was a reason that this all happened to us, and there's something we can learn from it if we're just, like you said, paying attention.
yeah. You have
Just
to
pay
see it.
attention. Yeah. And a lot of people, it's too easy not to pay attention nowadays. You got your phone, you got alcohol, you got so
Yeah.
many different vices you could go to and not
Too
pay
many. Yeah.
attention. And so that's what the majority of people are doing. But when I
Yeah, but
sat
it's the
down and
job
just
of
kind of go ahead.
that's the devil's job, because he is here to misguide us, mislead us, and to trick us, and to just keep us on the wrong track. That's what he does.
Yeah, and that also helps me believe that it's not just a group of men sitting at a table saying, "Let's do this to everyone."
No, no, no.
It's
No.
like,
They are
no, this
forced by a greater
right,
evil,
right.
Yeah.
and we
So it's
can
it, and that's when
fight
I
it
could,
because we have Allah, we have God. People.
yeah, and exactly, and that's how I could live with it. Look, if there are those 8 people sitting around saying, "Let's start a COVID pandemic," I'm not. Yeah, it sucked. It sucked for a lot of people, but I'm not going to judge those people. Whatever their situation is, they're in it for a reason. There's a reason they did this, and whether I like it or not, it happened. And there's not much I can do about it other than try to reconcile, try to
Yeah.
come to terms.
I mean, I'll raise a hot take on this one, dude. I think as a Christian, it's okay to judge those people because some things are objectively evil, right? Like manipulating people's psychology, that's objectively wrong according to the Bible. And it's like what, like Trevor, like this ain't the same as having a gay friend. It's like orders of magnitude worse, bro. I don't think all sins are equal. I know they're all sins, but if I'm God, I can't see placing a murderer in the same cell as I do a guy that's got a gay friend. And the reason that I'm so passionate about this is because when we don't judge people, they use our religion against us.
Yeah.
They'll use Christianity and say, like with, let's say, immigration, right? Jesus said, "Give me your," like Jesus said, "Oh yeah, let's take everyone in," right? Like it's not Christ-like for me to say, "Oh, I don't think our borders should be open." They'll use that against me, but when they're in power, all my morals don't matter anymore at all. It's like they're using our own beliefs against us while they don't believe in it at all.
Yeah.
Well, they do believe it actually in a way, because I have seen it, like especially in Israel. The Quran speaks about the people from Israel, and they reject the message in a way. They have like I mean, not the people from Israel. I have to say the Zionist people, the
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
ones, yeah, not the good ones, because there are a lot of good Jews. I've seen a lot of rabbis. I follow them, and I even like to listen to them. So
It's the
it's not.
Zionists you're
I have
talking
to be
about.
specific. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Zionists. Yes, I have to be
Okay.
specific.
I got
But
you.
they do things that God has teach them. So they use it. They know it, but they deliberately use it differently. Right?
Hmm.
Okay, do you understand what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
Like
like they take
those
a
trees.
sentence and misconstrue, like they'll twist it, right?
Yeah, but they use it for their own good, because they are like, I'm not sure. I have to get back to it. There are trees that should be planted by, I don't know who, but the Zionists, they have planted those trees. That's what I've seen in other research. I don't know what the names are, but it was about trees, and I was like, okay, you see, they know about those trees, so they have been reading about the message of God, and they are using it because they are planting those trees to be protected in a way. So they do use it as protection.
But then they'll come over here and say, you have to give up your house because I need to plant a tree here or a bunch of them. Like they'll take a sentence, let's say, love thy neighbor, right? But Trevor's not technically my neighbor, so I should be able to kill him, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, dude? Like
It's like taking it at face value.
the Zionists will misconstrue anything as long as it benefits them, dude. Like I'm not talking every single Jewish person on earth,
No, 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 no. We can't do that now, because I know a
but
lot of good ones.
but
Alhamdulillah. Thanks to God.
exactly, bro. It's like I don't agree with Islam, but I'm still your friend. Like we could still be friends, right? Trevor and I
Yeah.
aren't gay, but we have gay friends. But it's the Zionists who kind of think that they're entitled to everything and will take people's beliefs and twist them to be their kind of own self-serving thing.
Yeah, but it's the same thing with Islam actually too, because if you
Oh,
look at the in Afghanistan or Iran, my son was talking with me yesterday about a girl who they flew away from Iran to Holland, and they are here like for 8 years, so they are a long time. Um, and he was telling me they used to be Muslim, Mama. He said they used to be Muslim, but her country and the government and everything that they pushed on made her leave her religion. So she's no more. She's not a Muslim anymore. He said, I said, "Oh, okay, that's." Yeah, In Dutch, I can speak very easy, but I told him that must be hard to do such a thing because of all the bad things that you see, that you decide such a thing, that to just leave your belief, because but that's not what Islam is about. It's not how they show it in Iran or in Afghanistan, to hold people down, to kill people. They are killing people. They are killing their own people. They are their own babies. They're doing it by themselves. They are Muslims. They should be obeying God, right?
Okay,
And did
yeah.
God tell them anywhere in the Quran that they should be killing people?
I mean, yeah, I mean, you hear that a lot here over in the States, though, is like Muslims are terrorists.
But
Yeah, no, I got that all growing up. That's all I knew
Oh,
about the Muslim religion
yep.
is don't trust a single Muslim. The stereotype around no, I'm
No,
serious. It
for
was
real
like
though, they're gonna blow
don't
you up.
trust.
Like,
Yeah, no, the chances of them having a bomb are higher than a Christian having a bomb. It was bad. And even now I look back on the whole 9/11 situation and kind of dig into the weeds. We could get into the conspiracy theories and all of that if you'd like, but
yeah, I did
I
earlier with my son. I was shocked I saw something on Joe Rogan
oh,
about
yep.
that
oh hell
the
yeah,
money that the 2.2 trillion that was lost.
$1 trillion.
Trillion,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I don't think people appreciate that. Like, I'll illustrate it real quick. A million seconds is like 10 days, right? A billion seconds is 31 years. So we're talking 31,000 years worth of dollars times two.
Yeah.
$2 trillion, and a plane just, oh, it was right where we had the file.
It's
But
yeah,
how can
so that
anyone, how can anyone, if you give this information, I would like to test it actually, to just put it online somewhere, I don't know where, just to see what people would react on it. But how can people still believe the agenda that they pushed on? If you know these things, this is, we had nothing is by coincidence. So how is that possible? That you have to ask yourself more than one question in this, if you get
I mean,
information like this, right?
yeah, like
I
it should be pretty easy to understand.
dude, I can
When you finally receive the facts, you're like, all right, this is what happened.
no,
It's hard to go against that. Like it's I can't. How is it not what happened? I know.
bro. It's
Here
because
are the facts.
it's easier to fool someone than to convince them that they're being fooled. Like,
Yeah, I've
people
seen it. I've seen it, and I
people
gave
don't
up
like
on all
yeah,
those.
people don't like saying, "Oh shit, dude, I was wrong as heck about that."
Yeah.
Especially with like 9/11, you saw the same thing with COVID. Like, it's called mass formation psychosis, but it's where, yeah, you scare a population so severely that even when
They'll do
presented
anything to
even
stay
when
alive.
presented with direct evidence of the contrary to what they believe, they will still say no.
Yeah. It's so yeah, and I don't know if there was any more to it than to say, look, these guys were Muslim, but it's hard for me to believe that the people over in Iraq and Afghanistan hopped on a plane, that they just, like they just
Oh
hopped on a
god.
plane, came over here, and they were able to bring a bomb on that plane and blow everything up. It doesn't make sense to me. And it's upsetting because, yeah, all growing up, it was Muslims are bad. And
They ha-
now I'm 10 years from then, I'm 25 now. So at 15, that's what I was told. 25, I'm like, I think the Muslims are like the best religion out there. I don't
bro.
know much about it yet. I would like to know more. And that's why I'm just seeking more about it. But now I think that they're one of the strongest remaining populations on earth. So to believe that they wanted to do harm to us they didn't even tell us what it
No
was for.
reason.
They just didn't like America. That doesn't make any sense.
They
No,
hated
but
democracy.
if you
That's why
even
they're terrorists. That's what they told us.
Yeah.
if you even dig deeper, then around that time there was also the things that they found in Iraq, the
Mhm.
the old how do you say it in English? Oh my God.
Oh, Iraq, like the weapons of mass destruction that we were all lied to about.
No, no, no.
I'm sorry.
No, not that, Kevin.
I'm still ticked off about that, bro. We invaded this country twice and didn't shit
Yep.
happen, bro.
And for what?
Yeah,
what?
for what?
No, but for what really? Because they found things. They were out there for a reason. They were not without reason in Iraq. Have you researched what they found
What?
over
Gold
there?
and oil?
No, the old how do you call it? I want to say it more respectfully, but the corpses of big giants and some
Oh,
traces of old rulers. I'm not specific what the names, but my partner knows all about it. He can fill you in later. And a friend of mine, she came from Pakistan. She told me during Corona about this, and I had no time to research it. I was like, okay, whatever. I believe you because I know this world is crazy. And I said to her, giants. I will not say if ever anyone comes to me and says like UFOs. I seen something in the air, and I was like, yeah, of course, I believe that there are a lot of things. So I didn't decline the whole giant thing. And later on, I came on to some research, and it was all about the times that America went to Iraq. So they were doing stuff out there, and they had something going on with the Muslims, but they were different things because they were invading their country to actually do stuff there that
For what
different
reason?
projects and top secret of course, but people
I
show the
I
truth.
want to ask because you keep bringing up people all your friends are from so many different areas in the world. Why are you guys all going over to Netherlands and Holland? Why? Because you brought up Somalia, then you brought up
Yeah, but
Morocco.
Holland, it's I think it's nearly 50% other cultures because Dutch is so mingled. How do you say it? Mingled,
Like diverse, like
diverse.
mixed.
Yes,
Yeah,
diverse is
yeah.
the word. They have I have many cultures. I think I met every culture out there in Holland.
Oh, hell
But
yeah.
it's
Is that
fun.
like
It's a lot of fun.
known? Is that known from country to country? Or do you guys just all end up there because like why did you choose the Netherlands to go to instead of?
We actually didn't choose for the Netherlands. We were on our way to England because there was my mother's family was all in England, so we were on our way to England. But we got caught in Belgium, so they decided to just hop on from Belgium to the Netherlands by train, and then so we stayed, and they gave us. The Dutch they took us in because Somalia was at that time a horrible place, so they couldn't send us back, so they accept us, and we stayed in Holland. But we were actually on our way to England, so and they they didn't choose Holland, and England they chose England because the Somali people they are very clever people. I have to say that out loud because those
Clever.
people back in Somalia at that time they already knew how the system in every country works. In America, Canada, England, they have. I don't know how they would research it back then because they didn't have computers, right, to know how the whole system of another country works. But they will tip you in the country where it's the best place to be for the system. They do it.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard like a
I
lot of
think many
like Europe, like a lot of European countries are letting in a lot of Muslim people.
letting in or
Yeah,
Yeah.
not importing them, but every immigrant they got is from a Muslim country. But I hear people complain about that because, you know, they think you're going to have the Islamic Republic of Ireland here shortly.
okay.
Mm,
So, like,
yeah.
to the
I didn't.
to the people who said, like, you know what assimilation is?
Yeah,
Like, to the people who say that Muslims don't assimilate enough.
don't assimilate enough.
Yeah, like
So like you don't switch to you don't change your ways from the Muslim way to the new, if you move from a Muslim country to Dutch or to a Netherlands, you don't change how you are. You
Why?
still believe in Allah. So I mean, you still follow your faith,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you don't change that for really anything. A lot of people don't change that for anything. So you don't assimilate into, you're not coming over to America and changing into Christianity.
well, a lot of
And that,
they do, but it does happen.
yeah. Yeah, but they're almost scared because they don't want to because we have this fear that you guys are just the worst people in the world. So they don't want you coming over here knowing that you're not going to change your ways for our government.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they're getting scared,
But
like all these Muslim people are coming over. We're going to end up with a Muslim group that's going to end up revolting and taking over our place.
yeah, I know what you, but I think that that's also because like when I came back on my religion and I defended myself from out God, the right the rights that I have from God. I'm a free spirit and everything. I started to talk differently to like government, for example. I didn't take a no for answer because I was like, okay, but you're just playing with me, and I know from God that this is the truth. So you can't play around, you see. So and they saw it as an aggressive way, but for me it wasn't. I'm not aggressive. I'm just, I was more confident about what I was saying, and I was like, okay, but I do believe this and I feel that this is the truth, and I researched it, so you can't tell me different. And if you try to do it, I or I will walk out, or I will just try and explain to you how, where I come from, and give you some sources, but I will not battle with you over it. Right. So I don't have to battle
Yeah.
because God made me free and I can do whatever I want. And that's something that they are afraid of.
I
Right.
mean, yeah, I think
And I've
like
seen it many times because
I
it's
part of me thinks that they're just afraid of people that don't look like them, which like I kind of understand, right? But it's like if y'all took 5 minutes to learn what Islam was about, like Islams and Christians, they pray to the same God. Like it's the
Jewish.
same God. They believe in
Mhm.
Jesus Christ too. It's like you can learn a lot from people when you don't reduce them to being a terrorist, let's say.
Yeah. But the same goes for the Christianity. And my partner, he we had a big argument about that because we had a lot of fights about Christianity and Islam.
Hey, don't we
It was
all?
a
Don't we all?
battle war zone in this house.
Yeah.
But one time we had an argument about he was testing me in my religion, and he was telling about a lot of stuff about a prophet, and but he wasn't aggressive about him, but he was actually testing me if I knew where I stand for. And I'm thankful because I got to know more and better in where I stand for, and to research it and to be very on point and confident and everything. But when he started to saying that, I automatically, because I was angry at some points, I did. I said about the Christianity that I didn't think that now that I don't believe that all churches, they are pedophiles or they rape boys and everything. So
Yeah, we
I
got you. We
said to
got you.
him, the religion, the people who are in some churches and who are corrupt and who are sick in their head, it doesn't mean that's nothing from God. That's the people. That's the human with the free will doing what God has forbidden, obviously. So you can't attach that to the religion. You have to see it.
Yeah. I mean, the
That
Muslims
was
didn't cause World War II. I'm sorry, Trevor. Go ahead.
that's what turned me off from religion for so many years, is that being all over the news, pedophile this, then this pastor did this, and all that. I'm like, look, why would I want to get into that religion? So that's just another thing where people, you see it all over the news, so you're scared to walk into a church.
Yeah.
I,
But
I had to walk into church alone. I didn't have anyone to go with. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know
You
which
weren't
church to go
alone,
to.
bro.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't alone. And so when you start believing that you're trying to follow and find the truth, you kind of start to understand that the people that are in the position of a pastor and become a pedophile, like you said, that there's something wrong within them. There's
mhm.
something that they haven't figured out, and now they're putting a bad stain on the faith. So I mean, it's irritating to see all that happen because you're doing it with such a you have such a big role within the church and the religion, and you're doing
Yeah.
it in that role, so you're staining your own faith. So I don't know if you just never believed in it, or if this is just something that there is just something wrong with your mind.
And two, like our media lies to us about everything, right? Like if you look up rates of, let's say, sexual assault in the Catholic Church, compare that to school teachers. School teachers are like 10 times higher, but we never
Yeah.
hear about that. We just think the Catholic Church is just full of a bunch of, you know, people who sexually assault. And it's like,
Yeah,
you
but I
know,
refused to think that. I put it up then in an argument because I wanted to hit back something, something. But I had to say, and I did say sorry immediately because I don't believe that they are, and and not every church can be that, and that's the same actually with Muslims that there are Muslims who are going on terror and I don't know where they got it from. I still don't know where they got it from because I've been searching it in the Quran where it says that you can kill another human creation from God. So I don't know where, but it happens. But we shouldn't be looking at the
it's
religion like that. No
yeah, it's
religion,
like
actually.
every group has bad people, bro. There's a lot of
Yeah,
bad cops out there, but you never hear about the good cops. You never
yes,
hear about the Muslim who goes and prays and leads a just life. You never hear about the priest who helps people. You only hear about the bad things, and it's like
yeah,
we're so quick to associate negativity with any group of people. It just it prevents us from learning how similar we are.
yeah. That we are one. It's dividing us. It's keeping us apart from even people who are close to you.
I mean, shit.
Yeah.
We had an atheist dude in our last podcast popped up in the chat and
Mm.
was kind of talking to us about God and all this stuff. And I don't know if it was me or the guest, but one of us said, "Suppose we are wrong about religion, right? None of it's real. It's all just made up. Then when we die, though, it's nothing. So it doesn't matter."
So yeah, so when we end up dying, if I'm believing in what you say is nothing, and when you die because you don't believe, you're done. But because I believe, like the Bible says, you have eternal life. Who win? Like, wouldn't you rather be on the safe side of having eternal life versus believing in nothing and living a sad, morbid life? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. Like the punishment for being wrong about a religion is nothing.
Yeah. But I believe that it's already imprinted in us, in our souls. So we can't be wrong if you just listen carefully and just pay attention. Everybody has his own mission and own connection to God. So we can't even tell each other about how God works. You can tell about his miracles and how he works for you, but everybody has his own. And so it's already in us. So even one who says he doesn't believe God, and that says that's in the Quran. Um, some are deaf and blind, deaf, blind, and what was the third? But they are not even able to understand, or they're blocked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I read that over and over again, So I was trying to point in my head to those that God means. And when I think of the bad ones, the evil ones, the ones with power, yeah, even government, so
Yo.
they don't want to see things, so they are in a way deaf, blind.
Mhm.
And that's how I understood it. And so but everybody, it's from God, right? Even one who does not believe is created, and he can say, and we should respect that, of course, that he is not created by the source, God, whatever he wants to say. We already know it, right? Am I
Yeah.
saying something?
No, I mean,
So he could say, I believe I'm not returning to God. That's what Trevor said, right? He said that he will, yeah, that's because he doesn't believe in returning to God. So he believes that he will, what does
Just
he do?
die. Just that's it.
just lights out. That's it.
You're
Lights
over with. Yeah.
It don't matter. Like I was saying though, it doesn't matter at that point. You could be any religion ever, and if there's nothing, then there's nothing, and there's no penalty for being wrong.
yeah. But then you're just in the ground, and yeah.
Can
But
I can I
I
ask
don't
real
think that we are that useless.
can I ask real
Yeah.
quick though?
I
Yeah,
refuse to
what
be
what
useless.
what benefits have you seen though from finding your faith again?
I started to open up. I before I only saw dark, and there was only dark in my life. I had
Who?
Or she kind of cut out. Am I good still, Trev? I
Yep.
see you fine.
Oh,
so
there we go.
if I had known you like 3 years ago, then you would save my life. But God saved me, thank God. But
Hey, can you repeat that last like 15 seconds? You kind of cut out.
I said that I was battling with a lot of demons,
Yeah,
battles,
yeah. Start from there. Yeah.
and yeah, it it got me very hard, and even to points that I wanted to die actually, and just to end my life. But I always knew that I couldn't because I'm a Muslim. So I was like angry with God, like you didn't even give me a way out on this whole crazy life, because I
Oh,
couldn't handle my traumas. There were just too many, and I didn't handle them when I should handle them before I got kids. Actually, that's the best time to have faced your traumas and to heal, because then you cannot pass on traumas to your children.
Yeah.
yep.
That's but I did it. I didn't know about it because I blocked a lot of things, and I now backwards when I look at the past 3 years and I have conversations with my son, we are very open about his traumas, my traumas. We discuss everything, and now I see that I did pass on, even though I didn't wanted to do that. But that's just how trauma works, and God just saved me all the time, every time.
It's
Yeah.
it's almost it's crazy. This is why I believe we all have a God, because I was in a similar situation. It's like look, I had suicidal thoughts, and that's why we started the show. That's bottom line. That's why we started the show, is because I had suicidal thoughts. I held my own gun to my head, and finally I said, "What is going on here? I am missing a key part of life to the point where I'm ready. Like you said, I'm over it. I'm sick of it. I don't want to deal with this anymore, and I don't know what else to do."
Got nothing to lose too, bro. You're almost taking
Yeah,
your own life. What difference does it make at that point?
yeah. So it's crazy to me that, I mean, God is saving so many lives from that, and that's why ever since I found my religion, it seems like each show turns into that. If you listen to any show before episode 30, we're probably 35. we never brought it up. We didn't talk about it. We didn't say anything about it. But I found that it's like the one key that saved me. And now to even hear you say it from all the way across the globe, it can't be it can't be fake. It can't,
Coincidence.
yeah.
Like I feel connected, like that can't be a
It's-
coincidence, bro. You need it.
Yeah. So it's I did want to ask on top of that, because I've been struggling with this, and we talked about it a little bit before this, is like you said, people are blind to it. And it's hard to get someone to understand such a concept, that it's hard to tell someone, look, man, just let it go. God is in control. You're not in control. And for someone to give up that power is one of the big steps in everyone's life. That's why we end up saying we're born again. I'm spiritually born again.
Yeah.
How do you do you try to, not convince, but do you try to let anyone know? How do you get through to people to tell them, look, God is real, or do you just kind of let them figure it out on their own? Have you ever ran into a situation? Because for instance, Kevin's the one that brought God to me, and he couldn't have said, hey, listen, man, there's a God, because I wouldn't have listened. I wouldn't have paid attention. I wouldn't have listened. But he would throw in these little things. A couple of things, I'd come into work and something bad happened to me that day before or that morning, and I don't know if I would be complaining hard about it, but I would bring it up to the point where you could tell that it upset me.
This is when he was 19 real quick, though. So he was very vocal at that age. You would know when some upset him. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But can you repeat that, Trevor? Kevin, he brought you on the path of God.
Yes, because
Wow.
it was when I came up
Great job.
and I would say anything, it would, amazing job. I'm so thankful for it, because without it, I don't know what I would have done. And he would just these little things. Like when I came to him, he's like, dude, do you believe that's a coincidence? And I'm like, well, what else would it be? He's like, that's the good Lord talking to you. And it just that one little bit, he would say, I mean, he would repeat, I would hear that at least 2 to 3 times a week. That's the good Lord talking to you. If it wasn't once a day. So
God
it
is good, bro.
Yeah, or God is good, or it would plant a seed in the back of my head to where finally a couple years later it was okay, let me believe. Do you try to do that? Do you have, I guess, spread God's word? How do you spread God's word?
Well, I did in the beginning because I was full of it, and I was like, "Oh, God is saving me right now. I have to tell people about it, and
Yeah.
Yep.
I have to share it." But people just reacted on me like I was crazy, and that kind of blocked me towards them to keep sharing it, because and that it's actually, I want to do it again, but not that extreme. Because I, like, for example, I was proving my partner about how God is working and bringing him proof. This is God's work. If you don't believe by now, then I don't know what you believe. And I was like putting all the evidence together, because I had to convince him, like, there is a God, because he was very negative in the beginning, and there was a lot that we had to handle. And I was like, every time, even because we got our child, my daughter, and during Corona, there was a lot. Like I said, people were getting sick. So I believe they always put things in the air, and everywhere around us there are diseases. So we have to be staying on top level of our health. So
yeah, I remember. Yeah, like for me, it was something like, I mean, I'd only found God at this point probably 3 or 4 months before. I mean, I was out in Afghanistan when COVID happens. I got invited to a Bible study, had literally nothing else to do, but I felt like I could feel God in me, right? And I knew it was something that would help Trevor, but I remember back in like middle school, I was probably we were like 11 to 14 in middle school, Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
And there would be people outside my school talking about the Bible, saying I'm going to go to hell just because. And it's like, I really think that's the wrong way to go about it. All that did was make me an angry atheist till I was like 23, dude. And so I'm thinking like, okay, I know God can help Trevor. how do I introduce it to him in a way that is kind of gentle, that he's going to understand and really figure out, so to speak. And yeah, like for me, that was comedy. I'm a very like comedic person. I got one liner for everything, you know. It's just what I know. So I was like, every time we get off early, I'd be like, "Yo, God is good, dude."
Yeah,
That
it'd
is
be
great. Me
30
too.
minutes early.
I'm like Allah Akbar. People think I'm a terrorist walking around with Allah.
Yo, swear to God, say that
It
in the
only means
military
God is
post.
the biggest.
Yeah, say that on Fort Campbell. Get arrested right quick.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
but it's like you know it's so helpful. It's like you found the winning lottery numbers. You almost just want to
Yeah,
share with
yeah,
everyone.
you're on the winning team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just the
It's
not
amazing.
worrying about things. Like there've been, I mean, we don't get paid that much in the army. There've been a lot of times where I'd be like, "Oh shit, bro, I'm about to be broke." I mean, payday was like a week away, and then I get like money from my college or, you know, wherever, and I was just like,
Somewhere.
how many
Yep.
times does this have to keep happening before
Yeah,
I
same here.
realize
Same here.
that it can't be a coincidence, right?
And what do you do when you receive it? I immediately, because we have our rituals, right? We clean ourselves and then we go and pray. I start praying immediately. I'm like, thank you, God. I know it's from you. I was in a money making class last year, and that lady, she told me, she started the whole class with money comes from God, and I was like, wow, I'm gonna listen to you because yeah, that's what I believe. I was like, I'm in a good class. I'm gonna just listen very carefully because you tell me. She started up front telling everybody, money comes from God. If you're not spiritually aligned with your source, with your God, you will receive no money. That's what she said when she started.
I mean,
And
I
it
think
is. That's
she's
what I
absolutely
believe.
right about that. You have no sense of community either. Like, if I only cared about, let's say, me getting rich, right? What good is that going to do my friends or my community, right?
How can you build up others too?
How can I build up?
Mhm.
That's why the Jewish people are so like rich, dude. It's because when one of them makes money, they all make money.
Mhm.
Because they're all
There's
brothers and sisters, and that's what they do good. And they keep. You said about Muslims, they keep their faith, but actually, on the halal certificate on food,
Nope.
like
you have for the Jewish
no,
people,
no,
they have
no.
kosher. Their label,
Yeah.
their halal certification that it's good product. It's called kosher, and Muslims they have halal.
Oh, okay.
And the Jewish products, you will find no additions to food, and the halal foods, you find a lot of messed up things. Yeah, I have to say it out loud because I'm gonna
Uh,
ask questions about this in on the companies, but I don't have the time for all those companies right now. But they shouldn't put on halal because halal should be good for you, and if you consume it, it wouldn't do. It shouldn't be doing harm to you. And the Jewish people, they have like very strict in their ways that for their food, for their brothers and sisters. They're very because even in the Muslim community, I see their willingness
yeah.
to help each other.
Mhm. Oh no. The,
No, she's right
what it
though,
is,
bro.
the
We don't.
Dutch government doesn't want her spreading God's truth.
Oh, dude.
There it is.
Yeah, the government's coming at us, dude.
Yeah.
No, but
No,
if
I was gonna say last week we didn't get to record it, but you were talking about your daughter. You were feeding your daughter only I guess you could say real food, only only food that's healthy. Could you just go through that again so people can hear kind of the benefits of you and your daughter
well,
eating legit food,
yeah, but
so to
that's
speak?
what I wanted. Yeah, that was also gifted from God because before I I was always looking for healthy ways to eat, but not that this extreme. But when I got her, I my partner he told me about it. It started with vaccines. My other three children in Holland, we have like the government's vaccine program. Do you have it in America? Like the little children when they get born, they get vaccines for a lot of
Oh,
diseases.
they get a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
I don't. It's not like pushed on by the government though. You have a chance to say no.
In
I
here
don't
too, but
know.
they don't tell you that.
Yeah,
Oh,
They
yeah,
very
they'll
hard to
just
say
do
no
it.
to. Is
Yeah,
they
yeah.
yeah.
keep pushing you every time you go over. Really, they know how to push you. But it started with that because my partner, he said, he told me, we're not gonna put any vaccine in our child. And I was like, whoa, what are you telling me now?
Hell yeah.
Are you? At first, I thought he was crazy because
Yeah.
I didn't believe what he believed, and I was like, I gave the other children the support and everything they need from the vaccine, and he started to explain it to me, and he dared me. He said, "Okay, you're smart enough. Just do your own research. I dare you. Do your own research, and if you come back to me and you, he was also testing me. He did a lot of testing, but I did research." And I was shocked. I remember I didn't even spoke to him for a couple of days because I was like I had to consume all the information that I got, and I already have done it to my other children. So I felt a lot of guilt, and I was angry about a lot of stuff. It's
But
massive,
they
but
act
that's the
like
point.
giving I'm sorry, like they act like giving a kid 70 vaccines by the time he's like 10 is, you know, there it's fine. No problem at
It's
all.
the right way.
It's the way, bro. The science is
I'm
sound.
just shocked. How can they push that to people? How can people actually? And I did it myself, so it's crazy.
I mean, it yeah, like hepatitis, right? Like hepatitis C, they give a baby a vaccine for it when it's like a minute old, right? But you
And
only
why
get
not?
that from sharing needles. It's like, what's a baby going to be sharing a needle? Like, what? I'm sorry, dude. It's just
You know,
vaccines.
now the funny part comes now. I investigated this because when I researched it, I'm like I said, I am someone who uh, goes deep into things, and especially if it concerns my children. So I delivered my child, and after 4 weeks, you get a notice to note a letter that you should come to the bureau. They say it in English,
Hmm.
Yeah.
um, where they put on the vaccines and the children, that you should get the vaccine from 4 weeks old. And I was like, I'm not gonna do this. And I was sweating. I was like, how am I going to tell them that I'm not giving her the vaccine?
4 weeks old, bro.
Yeah,
Y'all seen a
yeah,
month
they
old
know they
baby,
start.
bro? They're
Yeah,
brand new. Like, I'm,
they
But
need to put
can
it
you
in immediately.
can you
But I found out many things, even in the pregnancy, when they get the blood from the child, when they do the examination on the mother, they take a lot of us. I don't know. I still don't know what they do with it, but it's crazy.
no, you're good. Yeah.
I had to come into my fullest right with my son Mason. He is nearly born free because I have not cooperated in any of their circus with him, and I've seen. I see my child. He's different than the other children.
He's different.
He's different. He's much uh, smarter. He's focused. He's when he was born, he gave me the look that he understood everything. I mean it. And children
Okay.
are born with their soul. They came straight from God. When I pushed him out and I communicated with him, it was like he gave me a message from God. It was so massive, and it was like, but with the other children, I lost the connection because of the vaccines and all the troubles that I put in myself.
Yeah, and like,
yeah.
yeah, you're not talking like, yeah, obviously you're not talking to a newborn baby. Like, you can feel that connection.
I feel that because I have 5 children, and I
Yeah.
have
Oh wow.
vaccinated my 3 oldest ones, and my daughter. I in the pregnancy, I did cooperate with the investigations on the blood and all the samples and everything that you do. But with him, I didn't. because I agreed on nothing. I said, I'm not leaving anything of myself with you. I said, no blood. I'm going to do everything with other labs. I'm not trusting any regular hospital. I want to do everything on my own. And that's the best way. If you have a child, don't follow the government's path for your child, because they are stealing a lot of yourself and your child while being pregnant and when you deliver. Because when you deliver, they gave me with my daughter, they gave me a needle. That needle that brought up a lot of things in me. And I researched, because in America it was how do you say, it was a big thing in America.
Like a scandal.
Yeah, because there are a lot of mothers who get compliance. In America, they acknowledged it. In Holland, they said, no, it's not possible. I said, America already acknowledged these symptoms, these facts, and it's tested. It's so, and they they uh, they denied, of course, but I knew better and I didn't, and I felt different, and I had a different child. Because by my daughter, I refused all the other vaccines, and then they gave me this shot when I just delivered her, and I had to give her the breast. And while giving her the breast, I give her that medicine that they gave me. So I inject my
Yeah.
child immediately with that stuff that they put in me.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, I
I've
wouldn't.
seen this child, my daughter, my daughter from 3 years old. She had a lot of struggles. She's still handling a lot of things. I see it. It's crazy. And
You should
that's
see how
difference.
many vaccines Trevor and I got in the army. It was like my
Mhm.
vaccine record's like 5 pages long.
It seriously, when I showed up to basic training, it looked like a World War II situation where we were all in a line and they said next, and we walked up. The next person came. They didn't. All right, what's your name? Trevor. What's your social? Yep. Stab.
Bonk.
That it wasn't just one stab. Stab.
Like you're walking
Stab.
through
Turn
a
around.
line of people.
Turn
giving you
around.
shots.
Stab. Other arm. Stab. Like it was bad. Yeah.
And for
To the
what?
point where I
For what?
couldn't tell you. I really couldn't
Oh.
tell you. And then I had to go back and get checkups every time. I don't know how many times I got the anthrax vaccine. I don't know what that does to you, but I mean, I've gotten that 5-10 times in the army.
But you would think that the people they put in the army, they need to be strong, right?
Yep.
So why
You would
would you inject them and test stuff that
Es-
they can't even
especially
tell you about?
like with the COVID vaccine, right? Like COVID is killing old and fat people. In the army, find me a bigger population that's younger and healthier than the U.S. Army. It doesn't exist, but we still had to get it because
Yeah.
I don't know the reason. And it was so bad though. They were like, "Oh, you have to get the COVID vaccine, or else you can't deploy. You're
That's why I got it.
over."
That's why I got it.
They said you didn't have to wear a mask for like half
That's
an
how
hour.
they push people.
Yeah, but then we had a guy in the shot. Shout out to Scott, dude. I got a lot of respect for that guy.
Yep.
Didn't get the shot the whole time. He had to wear a mask. No one else did. And they didn't even kick him out. It's like, dude, y'all are threatening to kick me out the army for not getting this vaccine. And then 6 months later, it's not even a problem. No one gives a shit. Like,
And you ruined lives over this.
for COVID too, man. That shit was so upsetting. Like, they give me a vaccine every half an hour in the army. Like, give me all the anthrax ones. I don't care. But like the COVID vaccine is different. It works differently.
It wasn't tested.
And the people don't need it either, bro. What happens in 50 years when we're all, in a wheelchair or something? Like you can't tell me a vaccine is safe and effective in long term when it's only been out for half an hour.
No, but it shouldn't be inside of you in the first place. There's no, because I've seen doctors telling that we are built in a way that we can just heal ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be here if
My
we
dad,
couldn't do that. Yeah.
My dad used to ask. He was a hockey coach of mine and ended up committing suicide, but he was a neurosurgeon, working on the brain. And anytime there was something wrong with us kids, my dad would go ask him. And he would just say, give it 2 weeks, 14 days, your body should have healed it already. If it hasn't healed after 14 days, you might actually have a bigger problem on your hands. But your body is built to deal with this type of situation. You give it when I mess up my finger, give it 14 days. You're going to be fine. It's I don't.
Yeah, that's how we work.
I mean, how many thousands of years people been getting splinters and dying, bro? Like, we're clearly able to heal ourselves. It's just what got me about COVID too was like there was no treatment, right? Like if Trevor and I got coronavirus 3 years ago, we go to the hospital, they'd either give us a ventilator, which we'd die on probably, or Tylenol. But if we wanted to get, say, ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, we'd have to go get this horse medicine. And it's like, this is so stupid, bro. Every study I've read on this says it's either going to not work or it's going to work. Like, it'll do nothing.
A medicine that you shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I missed the part.
It's like, it won't harm me. It'll just not work or it'll help me. It's like, dude, why won't you let me try it?
Did you use it? I used it.
What'd you use? Yeah?
Yeah.
How'd you feel?
I was really sick, and then I also found out that Corona is also mentally, it drives you crazy, and it's your thoughts that make you go to think that you are that's much heavier, and that's what I found out later on. In the moment, I was like, I think I'm going to die, and I need a medicine.
Yeah. Like, just give me anything.
So I was in a group of people. They called themselves the Hearts group in Holland, and it was a group full of people who thought outside the normal things. They were spiritual, and many. It was multicultural because I was the only Muslim, but everyone had a different thought about the creation of the human beings, and I loved it because I want to learn as much as possible and everything, and I respect everyone. That's what I did in Corona, of course, because I had to deal with a lot of different. It's not even religions. Some people they say the source, but they also believe in other galaxies and these federations, galactic federations.
Yeah,
and I keep it open. I'm like, okay, I believe there's a lot of out there. I don't have names for all those creations.
No one has
God,
a name
I do
for
believe
those
that
things.
He created a lot. So, but I learned a lot of those people, and they were very. They were also doctors in the group. Like, oh, my son is awake. Just one moment.
Yeah, good.
I was thinking this might get us pulled off YouTube. All this vaccine talk.
Yeah.
No, YouTube is crazy with vaccines. Like, it's so inconsistent. Like, there is no real, like, these are the rules you can follow. It's like, we're going to have whatever rules we want. And then when the rules are proven to be wrong in 6 months, you're still going to be kicked off YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, he's awake. I thought maybe he was dreaming, but he's not.
We can end it real quick we'll just we can end it real quick. We're going on a long time. Thank you for coming.
Oh, that kid is having an
issue, wow.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I wish I had a urinal right underneath my desk.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I gotta go to the bathroom too. I wish there was a pause button.
Take a quick fucking piss real quick, dude.
Yeah, go ahead.
She's back.
There we go. Yeah, we're good.
Oh, look at him.
I'm gonna put off the camera because I'm gonna breastfeed him, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
no, you're good. I was just gonna say we're running past on time. If you're okay with closing it off now.
Yeah,
just Kevin, if you have
the moment, I guess. But I just want to come back to the question that you said about the healthy food, but it started by the Corona because of all the. And even when she was born, and I was thinking of the most healthy way to raise her. So I couldn't go any way than what God was giving me, because it started with she got like ear infections when she was young, and I didn't want to give her antibiotica. Is that in
Mm-hmm.
English too?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I researched other ways to heal ear infections and everything, and I found a book that I followed at first. It's of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is peace be upon him, if I say correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. Peace be
Um,
upon.
that we can heal ourselves with herbs and plants and everything. So I did. I start doing it, and it works. It works. So
It works.
why should I take any medicine if it works?
Yep.
And we can heal ourselves. That's the main thing that
No, we're
Yeah.
big into pills here in the U.S. by pharmaceutical companies. If it's natural, they don't want us taking that at all, pretty much.
You don't make money off of me growing my own plant.
Yes, sir, bro.
no, they can. And that's
Yeah.
what we are, the product. That's what we said earlier. We are the
Yeah.
product of all
Yeah.
this. We are the product, and that's in a way sad, but we know. I know, you know. So if we just spread these things, that it works, and people don't have to be afraid and don't have to think that they are alone or that they have to kill themselves. It's
Yeah.
not needed. We're still out here surviving with the natural resources, because God gave us this planet, and it's
Amen.
ours to also find the solutions for every problem that we have and face.
You're right. Now, there's a solution for every problem. It's just people need to listen more. Like, I saw an interview with Marilyn Manson. They asked him, the Columbine shooters listen to your music. What do you say about that? Like, what would you tell them if they were here right now? And he goes like, bro, I wouldn't tell them anything. I'd listen because that's what no one else did. It's like
Yeah.
we got to listen to each other, man. People need to be
Yep.
heard. People don't feel heard; they feel fucking trapped.
It
Yep.
is indeed.
Kevin, you got a last question, or you wanna?
I got a last question that's kind of tough. What do you say to the people that say, if there is a God, why is there so much suffering going on in the U.S.? Like, why would God allow the Holocaust to happen? Let's
Well, I have a better example. God, um, this life is a test, and God told us in the beginning when we were created, the bad one, the devil. I must protect myself from it and everyone.
yeah,
Um, he didn't bow down for us. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
He had to kneel for us as creation, and he refused. So that's why he was uh, put away as a non-believer, right? But God told the angels, "I know what you don't know about us, about us humans," and they warned him already. Why would you let them? I don't know the exact words, but um, I'm going to share it. I don't know if the Bible says something like that, but the Quran says it, that there was already so many creations from God that caused corruption and harmful things on this and on this planet, and why God was creating another species that would do the same. And God answered to them, to the angels, "I know what you don't know," something like that. And
yeah. No, it makes sense. I've heard too that like if you ask your kid what he wants, what'll make him happy, he's gonna say, "Let me get all the candy and McDonald's in the world," right? But that's not good for him. Who's to say we don't have something similar? We want people to live forever,
Yeah.
but that's not what's objectively the best for us.
wow, yeah, yes,
Yeah.
indeed. But if what I was saying was also, but God sees everything, and everything has a reason. But the bad one, he made the promise that he would always um, try to deceive us and to take us with him to to his place, whatever that may be, the hellfire or whatever you want to call it. But we have options. We know how to face the bad things because God is instructing us if you want to listen. It comes back again, listening.
God
Pay
gave us
Yeah.
free
attention.
will. Yeah.
And the bad things, God is allowing it because they are already here with us and we already know it. So we can't say no more things like, why is this happening? No, because we already know these things are happening and we need to do our best and we need to pass this test and do whatever we can do to go against it and not like in a fight modus or battle, but we have to stand our own ground in what we believe and what we stand for. If we do that much more and more people would do that, then the bad things wouldn't get this much attention. Like for example, the news is all over negative with negative things, and it's programming us to think negative, to be depressed actually. And but if we focus on positive things, if we put on more positive things outside, we are all responsible for to do such things. And I think the majority of people, they are also drawn to the bad things. So they, and it's familiar because they've already programmed that way. So it's hard
Familiar.
too,
Yeah.
but yeah, we it's not necessary. All the
Yeah.
things that all the suffering. Yeah, if you ask me, there's few in power who want this world for themselves, and they are trying to control us, and we have to refuse. And if
I
we refuse, there is always suffering because you can suffer and in the end receive good because you have done good, but you can also suffer and do nothing. So
yeah, like
you're
God gave
either
us
way you're
free
suffering because
will.
you
Yeah.
are with the bad evil thing on this planet. We are trapped in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like God gave us free will. It's not him doing bad stuff to ourselves. It's
No,
us doing bad stuff to ourselves.
exactly. It's not
Yeah.
God, and that's what I had this conversation with
Wow.
a man who believed that he came from yeah from the apes, and but he was very brutal and very rude on me because he was actually making a fool of me, like with my head scarf and everything. And I was like, okay, I respect you. I still respect you. I don't care because you are programmed this way. I don't even care. I wouldn't let. I kept smiling because I couldn't get angry on anything he
Yeah.
said to me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he was also like, yeah, and why would God do this to little children? Why would God do this? And I'm like, okay, I understand where you come from, and I see it because I myself had the same questions to God, like why would you let these people die? Why would you? And I
Yeah.
had same conversations. I said, yeah, I understand, but I started to understand that where there is poor people and where there's rich people, the rich should help the poor. And this world, we are not in balance. We are actually one. We should help each other. We shouldn't have poverty like we have it in like Somalia or Yemen, or just look around the globe. You see
Or
everybody
any of the other
dying of
countries the
hunger.
US
How
gets
is that
involved in.
possible? In Holland, they,
Yeah.
they are throwing away so many food. How can you tell me that there should be people dying over there without? Nah, it's crazy. That's the
Yeah.
people who are doing those things. They are dividing us, and they are keeping like water, for example. It's built in the planet. It comes from the planet. It's not from one company or one. It should be available for everybody. And why isn't it still in 2023 not available for everybody?
Yeah.
How is that possible? It comes free from the earth. So if we should ask, if we are asking why are we suffering, we should ask ourselves those questions and what are we going to do about it, and then we can end suffering and maybe we can see the next level life or the paradise. I don't know how to say it, but
Yeah, yeah. Like
Heaven
and
on earth.
And just because
Yes,
someone
yeah.
disagrees with you does not make them evil. That's another key point, I think. Like we don't. I mean, I'm a Christian, you're a Muslim. That doesn't mean we have to hate each other.
No,
Yeah.
no, because there is no room for hate in paradise. You will not be in if you have hatred in your heart or soul.
Yep.
I'm
You
saying,
should
dude.
be
Wow.
I
leaving
die,
that to this planet.
if I die and get up to heaven, and there's Muhammad, there is peace be upon him. Then okay, dude, let's just roll with that.
Yeah.
But the
Ain't no
Quran
hate in
says
my
that
heart,
Jesus is
dude.
coming to save us.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like,
The Quran says
It's unreal.
Jesus is coming to save us.
we can
So it's not
disagree
even
with each
Muhammad.
other.
Peace be upon him.
Peace be
Well,
upon him. Shout out to
yeah.
Muhammad.
Thank you so much for coming on. This was incredible. I'm excited to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, this is
Where do I watch
It's
it? Where are you going to post this? Is this on
it'll be
stream?
on everything. So we put it on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter if you use Twitter. Really, anything we could put it on, it's on there. So
I was
um,
not prepared that way because like I said, it was very late in Holland, and I was
mm,
actually, I was like, okay, just I'm at home, and
Are you on
yeah.
LinkedIn or anything?
am I what?
Are you on LinkedIn or anything?
Yeah, and on Twitter,
Mhm.
recently,
Oh, what's your Twitter username, real quick? We'll make sure we send you it.
Righteous Fest. I send a message when
Oh, you got it, Trove?
I found you via through Twitter. Funny, I found you. You reacted on under the emergency meeting of Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate.
Oh, the
That's what you
emergency meeting.
posted. That's what I saw you.
Wow.
What the
That's
heck?
what I saw
Oh
you.
wow. Okay. And that's when you okay. I'll have to
You,
go through and find it then because yeah, wow.
Yeah,
we'll
I
make sure we
reacted
get it to you, though. We'll make sure. Yeah.
Yeah, if not, I'll just email you. But
No, it
um,
was this. I'm happy that you do this, and especially where you come from and how you started. That's very important. And this is a soul mission, so
yeah,
it's not coincidence. Everything is already mapped out.
yep. It's weird how it all works.
You have
So
no choice than to follow the lead.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what we try and do, man. Like, we're not waking up every day thinking, "Oh, how can I go to McDonald's and flip as many hamburgers as I can?" It's how can
No,
we end suicide? That's what we're
that's
passionate
not where
about.
you came for. What you came
Yeah,
for.
and I
What you
yeah,
think
came to
that's
do.
what we're kind of good at, getting conversation flowing. So we really appreciate you coming on, though, for real.
yeah,
Me too. Me too. I'm gonna watch some other shows from you. If you share the links, then I can see because I only had this from StreamYard, and I was like, okay, I had to
yeah.
discover what it was
It's
exactly. And
yeah, the website on the bottom of the screen right here, endsuicide.us, has all of the shows on there. Um, I don't even know which one to suggest to you.
I'm
You're
trying
you're jack of all trades.
to, dude. Yeah, let me go to our channel real quick and look up a few recommendations.
well, I will just I'm very curious in many topics.
Maybe
Yeah,
JP's
God
episode.
will
That was a good
God will
episode.
speak to you no matter what. You'll end up
Yes,
finding one
indeed.
on your own if we don't send it to you. But
Yeah, he'll
but
speak
this
to
was
us.
great.
Mention
This was great. Thank you for coming on. It's Amrah.
yes,
Amrah.
Amrah. It's official Amrah,
Oh,
but I'm called
okay.
Amran because it's a very funny story. My uncle, when he had to write ourselves in from Somali to Holland, he at the end he made it an H.
That's same thing happened to my last name. They switched the pronunciation because we came from Poland to America.
Oh, are
So
you from
there-
Poland?
yes, yeah. My
His last name.
I'm
Oh
not
my
from
god.
Poland. My great grandfather moved here before World War One, and yeah, when he showed up, he said we're leaving that behind. We're American now, and it'll be pronounced this way instead of the Polish way. So we switched it up a bit.
Do, do
Can
you know the
you
Polish
pronounce it? Your name?
You know the
It's
Polish pronunciation?
Yeah, so in Poland it was Blasik. Here we just do Blazik.
Yeah, much better, bro. My
Yeah,
white
so-
palate can't even.
Are
It's
you,
like,
Kevin?
what's up?
Are you Kevin? We're
Yes,
trying
yes.
to end this, but I'm very curious where you come from now because he said Poland. I didn't.
No, yeah, my family is mostly Irish and Greek, is where I come from.
Oh, both Europe. So
Yep.
Yeah. I'm a pretty like racially kind of
Diverse.
ambiguous looking guy. You don't really know where I come from, especially like
Mhm.
because I'm tan, right? But my hair is like flat
like,
too. So one dude we work with thought I was Egyptian.
okay, but I'm not that good at telling where people come from actually. So
Yep.
I never try it. So
Yeah, it's
I just
difficult.
wait for them to say where they come from.
I come from God.
Yes,
Indeed.
indeed.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
indeed.
but
Yes, sir.
but with that, thank you so much. Yeah, may peace
You
be
too.
with you. With yeah, may God be with you. Everything. I couldn't be thankful enough for this. This is awesome. So
Seriously.
Thank you very much too.
yeah,
Thank you very much. I'll ask.
you
Michael is his name. I'm going to ask him to make to how do you say it? A schedule with you for
mhm.
someday in about 2 weeks later.
Okay, awesome.
I'm gonna ask him
But
Heck
because
yeah.
I
with
think you
that,
would be.
yeah, I would love to have more. I mean, we need more guests all the time. We appreciate every guest, but yeah, with that, we'll leave you to catch your sleep or do your research.
Yes, indeed. I have your website open now. It's amazing, by the way.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Well
Appreciate
done.
that.
Very well
Um,
done.